Hello and welcome to Rule of Waves 3 playing as Japan on Super Large Plus. We have made it to 1944. So quite an interesting time period, really. Battleships and cruisers are still very much relevant, same with torpedoes. But aircraft have become super important and will continue to be important for many years to come. And we have yet to sort of go fully into the missile age, although that will have changed in not so many years. There is peace. We have put that horrible war against the French out of our mind. That's two relatively quick wars, that first against Italy and then against France, that really didn't produce any serious battles. That's a big change. That the surface action is scaled back a bit. Yeah, I can understand, but we got nothing. We had one sort of half-assed carrier battle against the Italians, nothing against the French. And not for lack of forces operating close to each other. No, that was kind of disappointing. Maybe I should have mobilized everything and made a doom stack in the med so that I could actually force the invasion to go through. That might have helped, because then I think the chance would have been greater. But I always had the idea that I would eventually manage to get a landing, especially after the Italians joined me. But it wasn't to be. But anyway, that's out with the bathwater, so let's jump in and see what 1944 brings. Pretty straightforward year, I would say. 1944, war is peace. My Italian alliance lapsed because it was a wartime alliance, so they almost always lapse, or maybe even 100%, I'm not sure. Tensions still disturbingly powerful. Our highest tension against France. We had one event that pushed it from 2 to 3, yeah. And then the Germans were very upset that we stole Subtech from them, so they went from 1 to 2, and the Chinese are feeling Chad, I think, over in their corner. So yeah, very peaceful, disturbingly peaceful. Spain turned fascist. That was interesting. So now you have Germany, France, and Spain. That's an axis of evil if ever I saw one. That makes Italy the only limited democracy in Europe, and of course Great Britain is a full democracy, kind of. And the US is also a full democracy. Japan is not fascist. We are still Eastern, and I don't know. I don't have no plans to change that unless I get a good deal. And of course the Russians are Soviets and the Chinese are commies, so you have the Russia-China axis, and then you have the Germany through France into Spain axis. Italy feeling a little bit alone there, and Great Britain having no fleet, and the US just mucking about, mostly on the East Coast, since they don't have Panama. Yes, this is perhaps the most interesting picture in money terms. We're up 12.20, which is pretty decent. The US is up more, but yeah, it is what it is. Colony resources steady at 336, so about 5%. It's been like that, but only because we keep grabbing more and more colonies. Bud mod at 16, and that of course means we have a modest increase in our peacetime budget. Only the US is higher, the rest are far behind now. So even with inflated Bud mods, neither the UK nor Germany have any chance of keeping pace with this budget. Build to upkeep is back to being good, and in absolute term, the construction is great. We're using half the ship capacity. Well, not quite half, but not too far away. And funds are still good. Great Britain keeps building docks. Whenever we go up, they go up, so good for them. Economy is A tier. You can see the US is 100k above us, but that is to be expected. I'm up by about up to about 66.5. So the US pulls away to 73. This is including colonies, of course, but in percentage terms, it's still about 10%. And the difference between me and the UK is now, from their point of view, a staggering 30%. So you can see that they are being left in the dust. Fleet size, I would say US alone in the S tier. I'm in the A tier with Germany. And Germany is in the A tier, mostly because we never really slaughtered their fleet. We fought one war with them, but it was, we sank a fair number of their ships, but it was relatively inconclusive. And also it was fairly early in the game. And I don't think they have wasted money to such an extent on aircraft and subs, so that's helped their economy tremendously. The Great Britain shouldn't have 1,200 aircraft during peacetime. That's a mistake. Imagine those light carriers with aircraft, or small fleet carriers. Yikes. I would say my fleet quality is A-. I have a handful of ships that need updating, and I do have some older ships still in service. They are many decades old, so they are costing me a bit extra, but I took the effort to update them, so they will serve until they start going completely out of style. But I'm building 2 powerful battle cruisers, and with 17-inch guns, I will build 2 more. Then I will evaluate the need for a batch of fast battleships. And those are likely to be the last capital ships I build. I'm holding to my 6+6 carrier doctrine. It has to do with how many monies you can really spend on aircraft. So I have 6 active with aircraft. I have 6 in mothballed. And I'm planning a new generation pretty soon. We are focusing on cruisers at the moment. We are building 3 plus 9, so 3 finished, 9 building of 33 knot, 12 kiloton. And we also have 8 10 kilotons and 4 8 kilotons that will possibly be updated. If I do that, I will have the largest cruiser force by far. And I also have those 4 colonial cruisers, so might turn these 8 kiloton things into colonial cruisers. I'm also building 2 CAs of the maximum size, 26,000 tons, and I'm planning 2 more. We have started refitting some of our destroyers, but those are deep refits, so pretty expensive. I now have temporarily halted new builds, but we will get back to those again soon. Subs, whatever, aircraft, stable. Research was a pretty good year, I would say. Budget is remaining at 10, might go 8, yeah, sure, but it feels so strange. Fire control down 1 step because we got electro-optical director. Some more stuff is coming, mid-late 40s, early 50s, but we'll take that as it happens. Some machinery is up, so another percentage shaved off there. Damage control. We are now at the very end of damage control. This is just a couple of techs coming in the next few years, helping damage control on aircraft carrier, so definitely useful for us. We got the 6-inch autoloader, which when I used to play this game earlier, I thought that was a great tech, so I reduced the number of 6-inch guns and put autoloaders, but turns out that's not that efficient after all, so we're not doing that. AP +1, +1 torpedo, +2 sub, 1 stolen, 1 both. Actually, we bought a snorkel. Was it of Spain? I think, yeah. That was cool. So 2 freebie techs. But remember that to steal something, someone must have something you do not have. And the same applies to trading. And in the case of trading, I think it's primarily things that you've skipped that are starting to be a few years old that's on offer. Since we have been at the forefront of research since our economy became strong, we get few stealing and few trading options. So there is that. ASV +1. Got some proximity fuses, so better heavy AA. But probably just 6 and 5-inch heavy AA? I think so. And we got some more electronic fire computer that's extra heavy AA for everything. 2 more radars, improved air search radar, and this radar, where are you? Shipborne. Yeah, something that improved the Intel and ASV capability. Air is bomb and torpedo, so some of your dropped bombs would turn into torpedo strikes, was it? Yeah. I don't know how relevant that is. Aircraft fighter reliability remains uncertain. That is unfortunate, of course. And fighter range is... I think it's still a challenge. It's not horrible. I mean, on light, they can go 309, so that's certainly something, but the torpedo bomber can go 413 with the medium torpedo, so yeah. But at least it can escort a dive bomber out to medium. Yeah, both medium bombers are okay. We researched a new patrol boat, but the new one just wasn't... it was basically the same, but we probably not good reliability, so I just decided not to keep it. Yeah, the new torpedo bomber is awesome because it can carry a torpedo to 413. Not as long as the medium bomber, but I mean, this is a ship-based aircraft, much smaller. So we are doing the another dive bomber because, ta-da, we have missiles. So dive bombers can now carry missiles. So that's significant. Medium air-to-surface missiles. Same as the torpedo bomber, but for the time being, the torpedo bomber carries torpedoes. But both the naval patrol aircraft and the medium bomber can now carry heavy air-to-surface missile. That is much more interesting. So, yeah, pretty cool. Next up is a fighter, and then a medium bomber. So that's it, really. Yeah, so here we are. We are building a lot of stuff, especially light cruisers, of course. They are relatively cheap, but not exactly free. But they will serve us well into the surface-to-surface missile age. And I also think these Izumos will be pretty useful. You just have to watch where the enemy has his heavy cruisers and either send them there, or you can send them to do stuff where you don't want your battle fleet to go. So if a side invasion, a little bit of, not raiding, but you just want to set up some combat potential in a sea zone that's not your primary sea zone, they can function pretty well. I think I'm not entirely happy with the way my heavy AA came out on this one, but we'll just have to live with it. And of course, it would have been better to have 4 turrets in terms of, I mean, if you lose a turret now, even with 10 inches, that's not so heavy. We want to do some more updates, but I mean, updating these guys, that is a little bit on the expensive side, I would say. So that is, I think, something for the future. But I am absolutely considering doing something about my 1500 tonners. We have to sort of, it's definitely a diesel upgrade, and I would need them to be the same speed as the other guys, and I would need to take off this, and I would need to step this down to 4" to get a double dual purpose. This is in a way unfortunate, but it is also, yeah. But the question is, how much stuff do we stick on them? They have triples with reloads, we have radar, we have some anti-sub potential, we can have mines, we can have some light AA. I think this is not a horrible ship, but as you can see, it is not exactly free. It costs, I mean, it's close to actually costing me as much as a new destroyer, until you remember that my big new destroyers, they cost more than 3 times this number. So we can either have this completely useless version, or we can update it to sort of be able to at least accompany my more capable guys. The counter argument is that this one doesn't have TPS, and if you remember, I had that one scenario. I had 2 of my destroyer get hit by airdropped torpedoes, and yeah, they took damage, but they went home and didn't sink. So this definitely sinks if it gets hit by a torpedo. But yeah, whatever. Yeah, fire control is not the best, but it's good enough. So there. Turn. No commander. We're back at this again. A light cruiser only, so that's not yes. No, absolutely never, never, ever allow I mean, it can be an above average gunnery expert, but because I don't expect to be fighting in Northeast Asia. And if what happened? Oh. Small 32 knot, it would just be shredded by my light cruisers. It wouldn't even be a competition. Yeah, tension, you feel weak, yeah. Uh, 60 basing, that is very, very anemic. Base capacity. How bad is this? 80, because 80. I have 230 here now because I expanded this to 80 and this is 150. So this is acceptable now. I don't have too much here, but 40 is sufficient because it's, I mean, Great Britain has 45, but other than that, yeah. But I mean, yeah, I could get into another war with Britain. That would have been absolutely the best, but they are hiding with 0 here. So the question is, should we expand or no? Not for the time being, no. Oh, it was a CV. Wow. Yeah. Fine. US and Great Britain. This is unholy. I like that. Yeah, that was. I think that's good for the end game because otherwise, I suspect that things would be too easy. Yeah, lightweight torpedo mounts. Still think that's not working. Neither of the light torpedo mount techs are working. Ejection seat. Yeah, that's cool. Okay. Hmm. Destroyers, good. Better. Yeah, we need Navy and Steel. Budget and tension. It's a win and a win. And these give better heavy AA for smaller 4-inch guns, I think. Oh, this is interesting. This makes the 3-inch gun a lot more interesting because it actually puts out improved torpedo bomber. It can carry more heavy bombs, irrelevant. Has one more firepower, super relevant. But since these numbers do not change, that usually means that they are pretty competitive. I have bomber in 2. Yeah, I figured I don't need to give these spacious because don't think they will be around for that long. Or rather, they won't be rebuilt again, if you understand what I mean. That looks very similar to the other one. Yeah, I know, but it's good enough. You're mostly there for. Mm, 7 subs. How sad is that? Let's build 1 sub. We'll generate a random name for the sub. Great stuff. No. A lucky bastard. Political murder in the Balkans. The Balkans is just the area that keeps giving budget, prestige, and tension. Yes, what's not to like? Early blind fire capability. That is awesome. Yes, light jet fighter. Now we are talking. Now we are talking. 16 firepower. It's pretty hilarious. Speed 500. Okay. So if we compare it to the fighter, it's only 177 miles per hour faster in max, and even in cruise, it's like 217 firepower, and even heavy range is actually the same. That is hilarious, but light range is somewhat shorter, and it's probably poor reliability, but it's definitely a thing. But now we need to keep an eye on US CVs. We are still well ahead in CVs, unless you count in 18 light carriers. What are you doing? You doing? Ha! Who's got the bigger budget? That'll be me. That will be me. Give me a second. Yeah, I have an appointment, so I need to keep that. Suddenly we are in positive territory. Soon have. Toyama. Thing to see here. Oh, tensions. Do I smell a war coming? Do I? Absolutely have something that needs to be settled with the Germans. By all means, fleet tactics. They are my bestest friends. Improved hull, that's nice. Blind fire. Excellent. New dive bomber. This one is fastest and has the longest range, the most firepower, maneuverability, and toughness. It has, as you can see, less bomb load, but the chance of these craft actually carrying bombs now, there is, well, now let's not completely discount it, because you will eventually run out of missiles, and then you are back to bombs. And especially early in the war, you might not even have a full missile stocks. So it's not actually completely irrelevant, but I think its overall stats with the toughness and everything, it's so much better. Let's should we try for another fighter? Could do range on it. We could do range speed. Yeah, let's do that. Ah, US, you poor people. Oh yeah, now it's do we want to stop this one and get that weight savings? It's been building for 1 month. That's 8,000 out the windows. Yeah, we can do that. A little bit of a vanity project there, I would say. Sell ships to a South American country. Yes, yes, yes. Now, this is irrelevant. We can make the main guns shoot AA, but it's very wasteful. So, not bothering with that. Toyama, go to the build screen. Pick. Where did you go, Toyama? Fun times. Now we only need some more tension. This mothball, so it's fine. They can assign someone. My new commander. Reserve. He needs a wily above average someone. They have managed to sneak in here. I have brilliant, I have above average gunnery experts, but they do take one of the unknowns. I detest this system. It is abhorrent. Or clearly they have, whoever designed this have a very different idea what makes for a fun game. But that's fine. Omodaka. Let's do the final round of 1500 tonners. I realize that this reduces their overall firepower quite a bit. Absolutely. And wait. No. And I don't think light A guns really do much for you. Fire control, yeah, I know. Costs a lot of money and is not needed. Serve. Ooh, that's a lot of overspending, but we have so much money. Construction 73,000. I like it. Pointless. There's been an internal upheaval in Southwest Africa. France is sending a force to restore order. What do you issue an ultimatum demanding that they back down? France is unimpressed, but we are in the yellow, so the bestest success. I don't need West Africa, so that's fine, but I did need that tension spike. So that was excellent. So just in a few months, little over half a year, we have gone from being super peaceful to something that we can work with. So that I can appreciate 80. Move ships. No, I don't want them on the East Coast. Not if France is gonna be troublesome. 270, 50% larger budget than Great Britain. Victory! We should celebrate by building us to death with subs. Oh no, we must send a strong squadron to bombard the capital until our citizens are released. I need another war now. Unrest is up to 1 because of high budget modifier. So France and the Soviet Union proved electric torpedoes, electronic bomb site. Any interesting stuff here? Oh, no. AI too peaceful by far. Aircraft type. The light jet will be out in 7 months. Then we must equip some squadrons. Yeah, it should be fine. We get a new dive bomber in a while. And the old dive bomber, it's not bad or anything. It's just not as good. Ships in service. Yes, turn. Light cruiser division. Good administrator. Gunnery. So top heavy. Yeah. Make the agent a national hero. Better armor, yeah. Wolfpack tactics. Carrier battle group. Oh, you'd think that I would now rush in and update these latest designs, but no, I can't have groups with classes with just one ship. Not at this scale, it would simply not work. So we will build the last of the Toyamas, and it will be the Jonan. I think we've used that name before. And we will also build the last of the No, it will be the Mikuma. Too far into the red here, I see, but that's fine. Just cranking out the new stuff. Yeah. A whole lot to do other than to crank those turns and we need to assign these last light cruisers to squadrons, so we need to power 12 fast forced lubrication, modern lightweight material. Tension with France is reduced due to recent war. How sad. We're still yellow though, so fine. 13360. Oh. November. More subtech. S-band radar. Wow. I think our radar tech is pretty competitive. Let's look at Mr. Radar himself. Unknown. Okay, yeah. Unknown. We're all very advanced. How lovely. And suddenly we are no longer in the red, and these four are clearing soon. So we have actually fixed up almost all our forces. We will now turn the 1100 tonners, I think, into more of a sub-hunting thingy, because I think they are actually too small to be useful now. I don't think they can even manage the speed. No, absolutely not. No, it's pointless. This one gets turned into more of a... Yeah, this can rather easily be done without too much cost even. So absolutely something to consider. It can still fight if it needs to, but it shouldn't have to. But it will be a good source of mines and anti-sub warfare. So same with the 900 tonners and possibly even the 600 tonners. We'll see. This one is mothballed, so that's fine. Of average. Excellent. Tonnage on foreign stations, we can fix that right away. And despite building for 60 grand, we are still in the black. So we will fix up the last of the destroyers, but those updates are cheaper. We will look at these old battle cruisers, and we will also get new, bigger carriers going. And this is, I think, relatively well timed because all of this is almost done. And incredibly enough, it's only a year or so until the first heavy cruisers and battle cruisers go into the water. So yeah, looking good. We are really building and into the future. And of course, it's 45, so we get to do some extra analysis and planning ahead. And that was certainly an interesting episode. I think we have absolutely started to build the foundations of a very interesting endgame, including the alliance between the US and Great Britain, because together they can cause me some real trouble. My economy is very strong at the moment, but remember we had a recent war, so tensions are trying to go down. At the same time, I'm overspending, so my unrest is going up, and it's currently at 2, which is not ideal, but it's fine. But if it keeps climbing, we could have a situation where I really, really need a war, but can't have it. But for the time being, this is, if we can just get through 1945, just building ships and building up tensions, that would be excellent. Then we would get the new dive bombers, the missiles, the jet fighters, all of that jazz. So thanks for watching, and see you again next time.